to a patron and guide, seeking strength and hope. And we shall always turn to one foot when in our darkness we grow. Lift we our minds to a patron and guide, seeking strength and hope. And we shall always turn to one foot when in our darkness we grow. Bless us, your mourn for the bless all our time. Guide us when we have need. Make us all worthy, true to our side, righteous in every thought and deed. We are eyes to learn and guide, seeking strength and hope. And we shall always turn to one foot when in our darkness we grow. Bless all our homes and teachers at school. Keep us all safe from harm. May they be faithful to every rule, learning to progress and to grow. Lift we our minds to a patron and guide, seeking strength and hope. And we shall always turn to one foot when in our dark.
Next classes all to a halt. There are no limits to what you can accomplish except the limits you place on your thinking. Teaching, learning had to continue, so we moved on from WhatsApp class chats and classes to Google Suite. If you are working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Wishing is not enough, we must do. Several articles were published in newspapers, magazines. Finally, the release of the new guidelines for continuing this online classes by HRD Ministry, Honorable Shri Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, Pragyata. So here we are after 4 months ongoing online support for a panel discussion for fruitful sharing of our understanding of the guidelines laid down by Pragyata, beneficial to our teachers, parents and students. Let's begin. With 7 of us from our studio here in our own school, we will try to reach out to you, parents and students, and justify your queries. Moving on with my first question to Ms. Leena. Ms. Leena, can you expand the term Pragyata and its significance?
Oh, surely, Ms. Falguni. As you have rightly said in the beginning, that pandemic has led to disruptions in normal life, including the closure of schools, and we have to adopt to new normals. COVID-19 has challenged the education system across the globe and has forced the educators to shift from traditional classrooms to e-classrooms. Now, online education is no more an option, but it has become a necessity. Teachers are getting used to, or rather using ICT tools in their classroom process. Parents may also desire to know more about the how, what and where of providing online education so that their children do not get overly stressed or stretched or get affected negatively owing to its prolonged use. So let's have a look at the presentation which shows us the guidelines in Pragyata. The guidelines in Pragyata are prepared by the National Council of Educational Research and Training. The guidelines include 8 steps of online education, which are plan, review, arrange, guide, yak or talk, assign, track and appreciate. The Pragyata guidelines have developed focusing digital education or online education. It will mainly help students who are presently at home due to lockdown. These guidelines outline suggestions for administrators, school heads, teachers, parents and students on the following areas. Number 1, concerns while planning online and digital education like duration, screen time, inclusiveness, balanced online and offline activities. It also takes into consideration physical, mental health and well-being during digital education, cyber safety and ethical practices including precautions and measures maintaining cyber safety. The guidelines stress upon the use of alternative academic calendar of NCERT for both learners having access to digital devices and learners having limited or no access to digital devices. The significance of the Pragyata is it aims to mitigate the impact of the pandemic on schools and universities, that is the educational sector. Children exposed to digital technologies or gadgets for a long time are prone to severe health issues. Therefore, designing appropriate schedules of digital education ensures better health. These guidelines on digital education provide a roadmap for carrying forward online education to enhance the quality of education. And lastly, the guidelines will be relevant and useful for a diverse set of stakeholders including school heads, teachers, parents, teacher educators and students. So this is all about the significance features of Pragyata.
Dina Miss, what are the different kinds of online learning and teaching mode?
Yes, Miss Winnie, digital education means carrying out teaching learning process using digital medium. With regards to availability of digital infrastructure of devices, Indian households can be classified into 6 categories. Number 1, households with computer, laptop, smartphone and a 4G internet connection as well as television set with DTH or cable TV connection. The second category, smartphone with 4G network. Third one, households with smartphone with limited 3G or 2G or no access to internet. The fourth category is television set with a DTH or cable connection. Fifth, radio set or basic mobile phone with FM. And in India, we do have students who have no access to any of the digital devices. So that's all about the digital infrastructure as far as India is concerned. Thank you.
Ms. Savita, can you throw some light upon balancing online and offline learning?
Yes, ma'am. We all know that students are the most important entity of a school education system. Hence, guidelines for the students are, let us have a look on it. There are 4 main areas mentioned in the guidelines for students. The first area talks about balanced online-offline learning. The second area talks about safety, ethics and precautions. Third area talks about how to create and share contents by the students. And fourth area is about children with special needs. Now, my dear students, in order to balance online-offline learning, you need to focus on these 5 important points. The first point is to have a timetable. Dear children, other than online learning, it is very important for you to decide time for proper sleep, for proper rest, for proper food, and also to balance your body, proper exercise. Hence, in order to manage your whole day, it is very important to have a timetable. Second point is to enhance reading skill. My dear students, it's a kind request that whenever you do self-study, kindly read your textbook. Third point talks about write and review. Dear children, when you have your online classes, whatever points are told by your teachers, have a running notes of all those points, and these running notes you can use as a reference when you do self-study. Another point says how to access national initiatives. Another important point is to explore and experience. Dear students, it is very important for you to relate your education to day-to-day life. At Montfort School, Nagpur, on every Saturday, we have activity period, which is conducted by various clubs. Recently, we had Science Club organized activity for the students, where children of high school were told to demonstrate simple experiments, laws based on what they studied, and they came up with lots of creativity. Similarly, the students of middle school were told to make a collage on spices and herbs which we preferably use during this pandemic as well as monsoon. So my dear students, it is very important for you to relate your education to day-to-day life, and that is what explore and experience. Another point is avoid technology before sleep. Dear students, it has been very clearly mentioned in the guideline we should not use technology at least 40 minutes before we go to bed, because these technologies activate your mind. These are passive source of communication and you cannot experience a sound sleep. So remember to avoid technology before sleep. And the last, but again an important point is refresh yourself during breaks. Dear children, Montfort School, Nagpur has taken all the precautions to give breaks in between the classes. Now it's your responsibility to utilize these breaks properly. Get out of the technology during the breaks. Have indoor walks and physical exercises and talk to your parents. It's a kind request to you, dear parents. Motivate your children to refresh and rejuvenate during breaks. So my dear students, I strongly feel if you follow these 6 points, that is to make a timetable, enhance reading skill, write and review, access national ICT initiatives, explore and experience, avoid technology before sleep, and refresh yourself during breaks. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Surinder sir, is there anything mentioned in these guidelines relating to physical and mental health?
See, anticipating the probable adverse effect of digital education on the tender minds and bodies of school-going children, the Ministry of Education, which was formerly known as the Ministry of Human Resources Development, have meticulously planned, prepared and issued a detailed guideline for physical health and mental wellness during digital education for its stakeholders, the school, children, the teachers and the parents, to minimize hazards involved in it. The guideline emphasizes on the particular adequate physical and mental health practices which need to be adopted while pursuing digital education, and pointed out few wrong practices which can have negative impact on physical and mental well-being of a person.
So what are these wrong practices which can have a negative impact on our students?
This guideline anticipating 3 wrong practices which can have negative impact on physical and mental well-being. First one is poor ergonomic practices. Ergonomic means the posture of a person, the position of the device, the furniture and the overall setting and atmosphere in the room where the students are undergoing this online education. The furniture plays an important role, and the furniture should be as per the body structure and height of the person. One should sit on the chair straight in an upright sitting posture, maintaining right angle at ankle, knees, hips and elbows. The head is forward facing and balanced. The shoulders are relaxed and upper arm should touch at the side of the body. Thank you, ma'am.
As you might have heard from Sir, that position of the device and proper posture of the child is very important. Parents, you have to take special care, as well as today we have with us a panelist who will be discussing about the psychological problem that your child might face and how you can look after your child.
Yes, ma'am. Physical, mental health and well-being plays a very important role, especially when we are in a lockdown in this pandemic where children have stopped going to schools. They are not allowed to meet their friends, no social gatherings, and this is possible that a child may undergo a depression and an anxiety. Now let us see what is anxiety and depression. Many children have fears and worries, and many may feel sad and hopelessness from time to time. Strong fears may appear at different times during development. For example, toddlers are often very distressed about being away from their parents, even if they are safe and cared for. Now, since many of the parents have started working, children are all alone at home doing their online classes. Possible they may go or may face an anxiety and depression. When a child does not outgrow the fear and worries that are typical in young children, or even when there are so many fears and worries that they interfere with school, home or play activities, the child may be diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. Anxiety may make children irritable and angry. This is very common when a child doesn't have friends. They are not allowed to play outside. It may also include trouble sleeping as well as physical symptoms like headache and stomach ache. Occasionally, even sad or feeling hopeless is a part of every child's life. Possible you or I may feel sometimes sad. This is normal. But when the child feels persistently sad and hopelessness, they may be diagnosed with depression. Now, what can be the symptoms of anxiety and depression? Try to study your child. Yes, dear parents, I request you, please keenly observe your child. Do you find any difference in their behavior? If there are some symptoms of depression like feeling sad, irritable, not wanting to do or enjoying doing the fun things, like every Saturday we have the class activities. If the child is continuously not appreciating, not taking part in such activities, then I think the matter is need concern. Showing changes in the eating patterns, like eating too much or too less. Having hard time paying attention if the classes are going on and the child is not at all paying attention. Teachers calling their name but child is not responding. Possibility a kind of anxiety or depression. Showing self-injury and self-destructive behavior. Extreme depression can lead a child to think about taking extreme step or plan for it. Over to you, Ms. Falguni.
Thank you, Ms. Samina. As well as I hope parents understood the psychological problems and how to take care of your wards. Safety, ethics and precautions play a very important role in online classes. So we have Ms. Savita with us to brief you about it.
Yes, ma'am. As I already mentioned, safety, ethics and precautions have been given lot of importance in the guideline. The first point says, seek parents' permission before sharing anything. Dear students, Montfort School, Nagpur already conducted seminar for parents and students to make you aware about do's and don'ts of social media. Dear students, now it is your responsibility to follow all those guidelines and please seek permission of your parents before you share anything in social media. Second point says awareness about cyberbullying. Again, my dear children, be aware about cyberbullying and also do not be a part of cyberbullying. I repeat, do not be a part of cyberbullying. The third point says follow etiquette, behave responsibly while online. Respect, have gratitude, have lot of respect for others. So, dear students, again I request you to have safe learning. Follow these 3 points. Seek parents' permission before sharing anything, awareness about cyberbullying, and do not be a part of cyberbullying. Third, follow etiquette, behave responsibly while online. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
So you see how the posture of the child, the psychology of the child, the etiquettes of the child on online classes important. So we are also going to study today about and get to know what is the role of parent guiding the students during online classes.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sure. There are some guidelines given by Pragita for parents. So, the first guideline is safety measure during online learning. So, dear parents, you must guide your child, discuss and inquire if the child is spending too much time on internet or mobile, predominantly in instant messenger, forums, texting messages, etc. And my dear parents, if you are aware of it, may use your parental control in devices and enable safe search in browser while children are surfing the web. Along with this, parents, you should note down things like screen-free areas in home, internet safety rules, duration of watching TV, it should not be more than 1 or 2 hours, surfing the web. And dear parent, this is must. You must talk with your child on regular basis to help them understand the importance of responsible use of internet rather than scolding them.
Ms. Roshni, can you just guide us about the do's and don'ts of online classes, the
Yes.
cyber safety?
Yes, sure, ma'am. There are some internet safety rules, do's of social media. Dear parents, first is the privacy setting. You must guide your child about this privacy setting, like make your phone private, visible to only your connections, and use a strong password that cannot be hacked. Therefore, the longer it is, the more secure it will be. Set a time limit for being online and guide your child the productive use of social media to enhance knowledge and skill. And this is the most important thing, that do not forget to log off when your child work is done. So these do's you have to guide your child. Along with these do's, there are some don'ts of social media. The first one, not to click on unverified link and do not visit unknown accounts. Otherwise, your information can easily be hacked by any unknown person. And the most important thing, dear parents, guide your child never to give out any personal information, never to give out any personal information including your name, address, phone number, social security number or home address. Do not accept or chat with strangers, and do not share any sensitive personal information with someone you have only met online. So dear parents, you must guide your child about this. Along with this, not respond to hurtful, insulting or bullying messages. So my dear parents, it's a kind request to you to please guide your child about these do's and don'ts on regular basis. Thank you. Over to you, Ms. Falguni.
Thank you, Ms. Roshni, for guiding our parents. Sir, you were talking about the wrong practices. Our parents will be really interested if you could elaborate the negative effects.
During this online education, the students are attending school classes for 2 to 3 hours. Apart from this, many might have joined the tuition classes and they need to give 1 or 2 hours there also. Many are always busy on video games or on some social platform like Facebook, WhatsApp, and surely they will be joining, they are joining to families also with for watching some television also. So this prolonged exposure to digital devices will definitely have negative impact on physical and mental well-being of a person.
Sir, many students are complaining about vision problem and headache. Please do tell us something about it.
See, among all sense organs, eyes are the organ it has become now, and all the more it is irreparable. So parents, they need to come down heavily to cut short or to curtail this exposure to devices apart from the school classes. Now, while attending the classes, the distance of the device, the angle of the device and the height of the device should be perfect so that less stress will fall on the eyes. Now one can keep 20 minutes, 20 rule. This 20 rule is what? Your device should be kept 20 inches away. Every after attending class for 20 seconds, you need to look somewhere 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Or for 20 seconds you just close your eyes. That will give relaxation to your eyes. Blinking eyes now and then lubricates your eyes. So the strain will be less. Trataka Kriya is advisable in yoga. Trataka is nothing but to focus on one point, and it will strengthen the eye muscle and improve the eyesight also. One should not hold the mobile phone in hand. So that's why the height, the distance and the angle of the mobile should be kept accurate so that the less strain will fall on eyes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for guiding our parents regarding what do's and don'ts of the posture and the device that they should take care of. We have a lot of advantages more than the disadvantage we find in online classes. To understand more of the advantages of online learning, here we have Ms. Leena with us once again to brief us about the advantages.
Dear parents and students, no doubt online education cannot replace classroom learning, but yes, there are several advantages of online teaching and learning. So let's look at the advantages one by one. The first advantage, as we can see on the screen, no disruption in learning because of pandemic. No loss of learning due to closure of schools. The another feature is flexibility, that is anytime, anywhere feature. Online education offers a great deal of flexibility in terms of time and location. For a learner, online education is at my place, at my pace and at my period. At my place, what does it mean? You can see now students cannot reach to school as the schools have closed down due to lockdown, but the schools have reached to their homes. The students are taking their lessons, performing various activities They are performing experiments, visiting the virtual labs, sitting right at their homes. At my pace means at the speed of a learner. A learner or a student can view the e-content again and again, can view and review the study material posted in the virtual classroom, can watch the videos which well explain the concepts of various subjects. So there is no external pressure on part of a learner as far as learning is concerned. He can learn at his own speed. And of course, the third feature is at my period, means at my interval of time, that is whenever the time period is available to a learner. Another advantage is that it enables to customize our procedures and processes based on the needs of a learner. Plenty of online tools available for effective and efficient learning, and here in Montfort School we are using various tools for effective teaching and learning. Educators can use combo of audio, video and text to reach out to their students in this time of crisis to maintain a human touch to their teaching. And lastly, it helps in creating collaborative and interactive learning environment where students can give their immediate feedback, ask queries and learn interestingly. So Ms. Falguni, these are all the different advantages of online learning to students as well as to teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Leena. Ms. Samina, how can we identify the behavioral changes of our students?
Yes, Ms. Winnie. There are behavioral changes at primary level. Primary level, that means the years of 6 to 10. Your child's moral values are developing and your child might share strong opinions about what is right and wrong. Yes, dear parents, your child is observing you. Child will be more aware of what others are doing. So become a role model for them. At this stage, the parents should avoid comparing the child with others. This is a very common thing in us, that is parents, that they often compare a slow learner with a person or a child who is brighter. So please parents, I again request you, avoid comparing the child with others. Avoid punishment. Punishment we think is going to bring a positive change in the child. But sorry, every punishment is not positive. Sometimes if the child is very sensitive, can take the punishment otherwise. Keep children stress-free. Try to create a joyful environment. Try to participate with them in their daily activities. Talk to your child. Yes, parents, talk to your child. Take out some time from your busy schedule to talk as well as listen to them patiently. A child always look for somebody who can understand them perfectly. And there is nothing one but we as parents. Learn to recognize the warning signs and intervene early with a distraction. Use simple language and understand their frustration. Show your understanding. If the child is not interested in doing something, please do not force. Be consistent. Do not allow the child to read your mood. If you are disturbed, that does not mean the waves will be passed on to the child also. Exercise can help release anger and stress. Take out some time for indoor activities. Any game can be played with them. Always be ready with rewards and praise. Yes, dear parents, learn to praise your child, even in small things. That will definitely bring a positive change in them. There are behavioral changes in children at secondary level. Secondary level, we call it as teenagers or adolescents. Children at this stage are very, very sensitive. Disruptive behavioral disorder are common during adolescence. Attention deficit hyperactive disorder, that is ADHD, is the most common mental disorder of childhood and persists into adolescence and adulthood. Yes, whatever impact, whatever comment they get at during the stage of adolescence, of course, is going to carry throughout their life. Parental role at adolescent stage. Yes, dear parents, we have a very important role to play here. Parents can have a strong positive influence on the child by setting a good example. You are the best motivators. Parents should share their values, setting high expectations regarding staying away from negativity. This is a stage where the child is exposed to the outer environment, many friends, many social liabilities. So here the child need to be very, very positive. And that positivity, yes, we parents can bring. Parents must understand the changes and the help the child to face them. The child may become too cautious about their looks. Do not comment negative. Whatever they are, yes, they are accepted to us. May be reluctant to face others. Do not force the child to perform in front of people if the child doesn't want to. So parents must behave as a friend to solve the queries. I hope I have cleared the doubts. So it's over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Samina. I think our dear parents would be clear about behavioral problems that their ward is facing. Surinder sir, Ms. Samina had talked about some physical exercises. I would like to know how exercises have played an important role during COVID-19.
See, due to this pandemic situation, we all are caught up at home. And the gardens are closed, the grounds are closed. Even sending children outside for walk also has become risky. So, this lack of physical movement will definitely have adverse effect on physical and mental well-being of a person. Now, while attending the online classes, 20 minutes you attend the class and for 10 minutes you stand up and attend the class. Nothing is going to happen because you are focusing still on the screen and you are attending the class. Every after 20 minutes you go and shift your posture and position. You should not remain in the same posture for long. Now whenever there is break, Montfort School is conducting 2 periods in a stretch. So every after 1 hour there is break. So in that break for 2 minutes you can have a walk in the room itself, can have a stretching exercises. Practicing yoga and physical exercises on regular basis can help in strengthening immune system, which is the most important now. And as well as it will strengthen the muscles, bones and joints. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I hope we at Montfort School, Nagpur were able to make the guidelines of Pragyata lucid and reachable, satisfying your queries, dear audience. The teaching fraternity's objectives in these crucial pandemic days remain the same. Continuity of the teaching learning process with the learning outcome of cognitive, psychomotion and kinesthetic development. A holistic growth of our students. So we, with online classes, try to balance curricular activities, restricting and balancing online, offline learning. I hope this panel discussion will surely help our parents to remember all measures regarding studies, exercise, postures, time management, and coping up stress of their wards. Hope you have enjoyed our discussion and benefited, as we did from Pragyata guidelines, and would follow up as a part of this new platform of virtual classroom. It is rightly said that the capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill. The willingness to learn is a choice. So, dear parents, the future belongs to the competent, and we teachers strongly believe, get good, get better, be the best. We thank the school management for taking initiative for reaching Pragyata guidelines to you, dear parents. And we thank the technical team for setting up the studio for the panel discussion. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.